Yes. Fair use. Fair use. I'm not making any money. This is for criticism and educational purposes only.
Yeah. So this is military. This is Inform New York, New York, right? ABC, New York, New York, and it says Iran takes mounting toll on America's military. So with all that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachaha Kodash. I'd like to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect. The elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners, whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom. To you sisters, you Chwatim, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yehowadah with the lesson. And continuing on. I believe this goes into another article that's right here. And Trump pauses strikes against Iran, surging productive talks. Iran denies talks, right? So they ain't willing to talk. You killing the Ayatollahs. You doing all these different things. You came out against them, and they didn't do anything against you. It says the U.S. war in Iran is taking a mounting toll on America's military, with rising casualties, dwindling munitions stockpile, right? A sidelined aircraft carrier and numerous down aircrafts just 3 weeks into conflicts. Yeah, you were very ill prepared, man, and now you want to talk peace, but there is no peace, man. Right? There is no peace. Yeah. So this is Isaiah chapter 57, verse 20. It says, "But the wicked are like the troubled sea," right? And you know how the sea, especially when it's like a storm, and the waves are tossed and being, sometimes they get big. It's like, even a big vessel, because the ocean is so vast. When the sea gets troubled, man, you're uncertain. If it's gonna, this thing's gonna crash you down and swallow you up. The sea is a very dangerous place, man. But troubled waters are very unstable. And it's saying that the wicked are like that. You're unstable. You're like troubled waters. Troubled seas. And and technically your vessels, right? Your aircraft carriers are in trouble. They're actually in the sea and in trouble, right? So it says when it cannot rest, right? So you're in a position where they're not easing up. They're not going to let you rest. You want to have talks, and they don't want to talk. Whose water cast up mire and dust and dirt, right? Says there is no peace, saith my power, the Most High Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachaha Kodash, to the wicked, right? There's no peace to the wicked, man. There's no peace to you. So now they're not letting up, man. They're going to keep coming at you. You know? Isaiah chapter 48, verse 22. There is no peace, saith Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakadash, unto the wicked. There's no peace for you. Right? Yeah, so this is Psalms chapter 73, verse 18. Surely thou, which is the Most High Yahweh, the Most High power, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakadash, did set them, right, the wicked, the evil, the Edomites, and 2/3 of his own people in slippery places, right? Thou castest them down into destruction, starting with the Edomites, man, because you are the border of wickedness, right? Malachi 1 and 4, right? You are the wicked, right? And it says, how are they brought into desolation? See, and you're going to be brought down into desolation as in a as in a moment, because it says the Lord said in 1 hour your demise is going to come. So this is all a built up, this World War tree, right? It's a built up to your demise. You know, surely the least of the flock shall draw you out. So Benjamin, and not a Jew, did a good thing by pumping you up. You went out there with not even a sufficient ammunition or anything, and which don't make sense because you got bases and everything out there. You should have made sure you shipped in things into your bases, even if you spread it out. It didn't have to be right now, right? That's what a true person would have done. You would have did it throughout a time period. Because you got to think, Iran, they live there. That's where they from. You know, they're ancient people. They've been stockpiling for quite some time. You know, they know they've had beef with you when you had 40% of their oil, and then they kicked you out of there. They knew you didn't like that, you know. And it says, yeah, because in that moment, in that hour, in 1 hour, you're going to be destroyed. They are utterly consumed with terror. Hey, and that's what's happening right now. Trump is trembling in his boots, man. Right? Let's have peace. Iran's like, no dice, no dice. All right, because you're out of here. This is the end of your society. It says as a dream. So you know, sometimes you go to sleep, you wake up, and you don't. Your dream is either if you remember some of it, at least a lot of it's faint. It's not coherent, or sometimes you don't remember it at all. And that's how these devil is going to be. We're going to pretty much remember much about him at all. You know what I mean? You're going to serve your 1,000 years of slavery. After that, Obadiah 1 and 18, and you're just going to be something that someone brings up every once in a while. Or when we fly over Babylon, when it's a desert, and it's that memorial for the things that you should never do, or the lifestyle that you should never lived. And this is what happened to nations that live in such a manner, as an example, right? Which the Lord did that to Sodom and Gomorrah, which was a small place, but this being 5,000 square miles, that's a big statement in judgment, right? But you're going to be like as a dream when one awaketh, so the outer one, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kadash, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise what their image, right? Starting with the mark of the beast, but just their image in just in itself, right? You're this clean leopard that's talking boastful. You know, you got all this pomp. You know, The Lord's going to despise your image, man. Right? Yeah, so this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 42. It says, they shall hold the bow and lance, right? Speaking of like a bow and arrow, but we know that this is speaking about the ICBMs, but also what, of course, they have these, the scourge that they have now. I mean, ultimately, it's going to be the ICBM missiles that's going to put everything to bed, put everything to rest, where there's going to be no more war. But right now, you have the scourge, this war that's building up to World War III, which really is already World War III, but it's going to build up even more. It's going to intense, and they are cruel and will not show mercy. See, and that's what's happening right now. He's asking to come to negotiation tables, but they don't want to speak. They don't want to talk. They want to shoot their because they got some hypersonic ballistic missiles, right? These ain't the nuclear, but they still got hypersonic ballistic missiles. And then you got the hypersonic nuclear missiles, which is going to be the final finale, and right now they're showing they're trying to have negotiations, they're trying to talk, but they don't want to talk. They won't show no mercy. They ain't showing no mercy, which is talking about the missiles. Was it back in the day in the 90s? There was a rapper called Spice One. And he did a song called "The Trigger Has No Heart," right? And that's what's happening. Once the bullets and things are let go, it don't have no heart. It don't. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna show mercy. I've already got fired out of the gun. Already got fired out of the silo. But I see you holding your little children. You're like, no, please, no, don't. It's just a material that was made to be a killing instrument. It don't have a heart, and it's not going to show any mercy. It's what it was created to do. At the end of the day, their voices shall roar like the sea, which is talking about the missiles when they're coming over to the ends of the world. But even now, like, I'm pretty sure they can hear those hypersonic ballistic missiles. They're roaring. Wow, man. Or that they say it was an asteroid that hit Ohio, but that might have been a nuke, or it might have been something. But when it came, it roared, boom, so much so that like 4 other states felt it. Felt the impact. So I'm thinking like Lazinski said. They said you have an ocean, and feel, but you will feel. Hey, I think that was the beginning starts of that. I'm just speaking as a man, but hey, we're gonna see, right? It says, and they shall ride upon horses, right? Which is that power, that thrust that they put, whatever it's jet fuel or whatever it is, to send the nuclear missile over here, or even one, I believe Russia got one that's nuclear powered. Yeah, it's nuclear powered, which symbolizes power, horsepower, power to thrust it to where it needs to go. It says every one put in array, which just basically reminds you of Joel 2, right? Against thee, O daughter of Babylon, against what? America. It's not talking about ancient Babylon, it's talking about America, the daughter of Babylon, right? And it says the king of Babylon, which is Donald J. Trump, have heard the report of them. Yeah, so he's hearing the report of Iran handing putting boots to asses, and you know, they shooting first and asking questions later, or not even asking questions. They just shooting and whatever is whatever. We ain't having no negotiation. We ain't talking, right? You know, we don't care if you don't got ammunitions. We don't care if you and there's no mercy, right? But you're hearing of these reports. Hey, Mr. President, such happened. We had a couple more casualties. Such. Hey, we're not doing too good. We don't got ammunitions. We ain't doing it. And then you get on TV. Oh, we're winning the war, and we're doing such a great job. And they don't have much ammunition and stuff. But really, it's you the one that don't have no ammunition. Hey, but that's crazy. And so what? And you heard, and he had heard the report of them, and his hand waxed what? Feeble. And that's where Trump, he's feeble, man. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as a woman in travail, because that's what's going to happen. This is going to build up as a woman in labor pains, and it's going to intensify this war, right? This war is going to intensify, right? But he's feeble. He don't know what to do. Oh, what? We're losing. So his thing is to come home and, well, let's put ICE in all the airports. You should worry about, you might want to send ICE over to the goddamn Iran or something. Because y'all losing. You know? Yeah, so this is Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 20. It says, therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachahakwadash, that he have taken against what? Edom, right? You modern day, you daughter of Babylon, it's Edom, right? And, right? Self-proclaimed so-called white man, right? And his purpose that he hath purposed, right, against the habitations of Teman, and that's what Trump is. Trump is a German. We believe that the Temanites are the Germans, which Trump goes back to the Germans, to, you know, because his grandfather was a German. He's a Temanite. Shall surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. See, and the least of the flock is those Amalek, right? The small hatters, the small toppers, the little tiny toppers, right? You know, the one that said that there's a wall that they cry at, you know, and basically it's not America first. It's you know, it's not red, white, and blue. It's just white and blue, right? That's who you pledge allegiance to, right? Yeah. So the least, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, and that's where you're at right now in Iran. And now you're backpedaling, and you don't know what to do, right? Surely he shall make their habitations what? Desolate with them, right? Right, because what they known as modern day Israel is going to get that Iron Dome ain't going to help them, right? Right along with America. Those are the places that the Lord is. I mean, other places are going to get judgment too, but those are the places the Lord is angry with, most highly angry. And you know, Israel's not going to be done as bad as America, but it's going to get done pretty bad. You know, that it cleanses the land, right? Because fire is a cleansing agent. So when you're dealing with these hypersonic ballistic missiles and you got hypersonic nuclear missiles, hey, it's gonna be such a fire, such a cleansing agent upon all the filth of the world or in the earth. So the earth is moved at the noise of their fall, right? It's talking about the nukes. It's gonna shake the entire world at the cry, the noise thereof, right? Especially when it hits America, and that's ultimately what it's talking about. Was heard in the Red Sea. So the destruction of America is going to be so great that you're going to be able to hear it all the way in the Red Sea, right? Yeah. So this is Joel chapter 2 verse 19. Yea, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rokach will answer and say unto his people, which are the Israelites, not everybody in the world or whoever believes, no, whoever believes out of Israel, right? His people, which is ultimately the elect, because 2/3 of Israelites that's here in America is gonna not make it. But then you got Israelites that's around the world that are not in America. The 2/3 are speaking about America, right? So yeah, that's that. So it says, and say unto his people, which is the elect, and you're going to have the elect, primarily the bulk of the elect is coming out of America, but there are elect in other places in the world, right? Behold, which means to look, feast your eyes, look, pay attention. I will send you corn and wine and oil, and ye shall be satisfied, which starting with the truth. Truth is that oil, that wine, right? The corn and the oil and the wine is ultimately the truth. But we will get that in the kingdom too, And ye shall be satisfied therewith, and I will no more make you a reproach among the heathen. See? And now, right now, we have been a reproach, but the Lord is it's slowly but surely. Well, it tells you we're not in the new covenant right now, but it is waxing away. So, we're headed towards that. And so, who's becoming the new reproach on the earth is you Edomites, right? But I will remove far off from you the northern army. Just talking about America. See, tell you, the bulk of the elect is here in America, right? And they're gonna send the northern army, which that's where you're at right now in Iran, right? The valley of Yehoshaphat, ready for World War III, and I will drive him into the land barren and desolate, which they're talking about putting boots on the ground now, right? So you're fulfilling prophecy, man. It's beautiful. And with his face towards the east sea, right, which is the what's it called? Euphrates, right? And then the hinder part, and his hinder part towards the uttermost sea, which is the Red Sea, and his stink shall come up, right? See, so as those nukes hit America, and it be heard all the way to the Red Sea, the people that's there from the hinder parts of the Red Sea going into that from Damascus on to Iran, you're going to hear it, and now it's going to be your judgment, right? And that's going to be Yahweh Shai that's going to do that one to you. Yahweh Shai is going to make you turn into dust, right? And it says, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he have done great things, great evils, right? He's going to have a judgment. Yes. Come back here just to prove it real quick. I thought I better go ahead and prove that is that thing. It says, Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45 says, therefore hear ye the counsel of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachah, that he have taken against Babylon, right? See, earlier I said Edom. So Edom, right? So that northern army that the Lord is about to send off, which we believe that's America, right? Earlier it said Edom, and right now it's saying what? Babylon. So we know that symbolized, this place represents Edom and also Babylon, the northern army that's sent off. That's where you're at over there, having that war with Persia, which we know that Persia is going to be protected by Gog of Magog, which we believe that's to be Russia when you break down the word, right? Chief Prince, Chief Rosh, and Rosh, and then Shar, Russia, right? Because you say Rosh in the Hebrew, which is chief, and Shar is prince. So Rosh-Shar, right, which makes meaning Russia, right, chief prince, right, in the Hebrew. So we know that has to be that land, because it's saying Gog of Magog is going to be a guard unto Iran, and that's where you're at. And they already have that, called the BRICS alliance. So we know that we have to be in this time period, right? And so it says, and his purpose, which is talking about the Most High's purpose, that he have purposed, right? So you're in the trick bag, and you didn't even know it. This was what the Lord wanted you to do. That he had purpose against the Chaldeans, all the witchcraft you do, the media, the witchcraft, the lying. That's all you ever do. You know, it's always to try to pull the wool, the smoke and mirrors, whatever you could do to bread and circus, whatever you could do to make people dumb and docile while you do a bunch of wicked, crooked stuff and get rich. I'm about to push the mark of the beast, which is the micro C hip. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Seeing, well, like I said, that's them tiny toppers. Well, the ones that at a wall that you so-called cry at, and then you're not America first. You're not red, white, and blue first. You're just red and blue first, right? Because they're all in the thing. They all got dual citizenship, all in your cabinets. The most billionaires ever in a U.S. sitting U.S. president's cabinets. So to let you know that they don't care about the poor, because they're rich. They're looking at. That's why you went in and made sure that there was a tax deduction for the ultimate wealthy, but then the poor, the ultimate poor, who have to survive. When this thing is going to make gas prices, going to make everything go up. Not to mention you're trying to erase DEI and this and that, and bring in drones and AI to do jobs, which means less jobs, less things for the people. So you're the king of Babylon, and you're also the cruel Lord in Isaiah 19, because that's a cruel thing, But you have to do that in order to get people to bite, right? Because if I can still eat and drink, then I don't need you. But you're gonna force it. You're gonna cause them to take the mark of the Karagma Karax Grapho, right? So it says, but meanwhile, what the least of the flock shall draw them out, right? That northern army is going to get drawn out by the least of the flock. He shall make their habitations desolate with them. See, hey, Israel's going to get destroyed, but since you went and joined hand in hand with the wicked, which you're the wicked too, hey, you're not finna go unpunished. So your habitation is going to be desolate. Israel's going to be desolated. See, and that's just that. It's Bible prophecy. It says, at the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth was moved, and the cry was heard among the nations. Right. So because you got this thing called the internet, and you got the thing called media news. So the revolution will be televised. This will be in every breaking news. America is decimated. You're gonna hear the cry. You're gonna hey, people are gonna be blown away by. I mean, that's bad words to say, but they are gonna be blown away by the news, right? The good news that's gonna benefit the children of Israel, man. You know, yeah. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 13 verse 6. It says, but I beheld, and lo, he had given himself a great mountain and flew upon it, right? Which that's really talking about Yahweh Shai. Let me see if I can just go up just a little bit. I don't want to go too far. I guess so. It don't matter. I guess I might have to. It says, behold, it says, and I beheld, and lo, which means to look, that a man waxed strong with the thousands of heavens, right? Which is talking about the angels. So that's Yahweh Shai coming with the angels. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. Because it talks about Yahweh Shai when he returns. It says the nation shall be well. All tribes, nations shall be well before him. They're gonna cry, right? Because he's coming for judgment. You're gonna sense it. You're gonna know it. His spirit. Hey, man. You talk about you know how people say if looks can kill. Well, he has a look that does kill. So when he look, you're gonna be yeah. It says and whensoever the voice, right? See, went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice. See, see, he got a look that actually kills. You know what I mean? It says like as the earth felleth when it filleth the fire. It's like, yeah, filleth the fire. Earth fell when it filleth the fire. It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, which means to look, to behold means to look, and then lo means to look. So it's like, look. There was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the earth, right? So showing you that this is a future prophecy. See, because people try to tell you there's no prophecies in Apocrypha, but this has to be a future prophecy because at this time there was no one on this side of the world, right? Right, except for the northern kingdom, right? Because Ezra spoke about that, because that's where Cristobal Colon got the idea to come on this side of the earth. But it wasn't a massive army or military or something like that. It was just Gad being Gad at the time, you know. But now the four corners of the earth, being the Edomites, have gotten the fatness of the earth by the sword, which that's what they did, because that's what the scriptures say. You should get the fatness of the earth, the dew of heaven, everything by the sword. Even now, to prove that they got the dew of even the dew of heaven from the thing, they went to the FBI, went to several people's house, and when they were collecting rain, they told them that it's illegal for you to collect rain because that belongs to the United States. The sky belongs to them. The rain that comes out the sky belongs, so you can't collect water. So showing you they got the fatness of everything, even the dew from heaven, which is the water, to tell you that you have to pour out all your water because you've been collecting rain and you ain't been using their water for paying for the water coming out the tap, which has poisons in it. Shows you that they have that power, that they got to do it. And who comes and show up to you? Because, FBI is something short of a military man. He's pretty much military trained. So he's showing you that he has that sword. He comes with the gun. He comes with the authority. So he's showing you that's the sword. Hey, pour that out, right? That you can't collect rainwater. Showing you that has been fulfilled. Right. So, but what all these places, so the four winds had to happen. So that's prophecy. So now the four corners of the earth are filled with populations, and these populations have a military that they can come down to the valley of Yahweh Shabbat. So the four winds, of the heavens, which is heaven, is also known as the earth, right? Because this is your rulership. This is your heaven, right? To subdue the man that came out of the seas, talking about the Shemaims out of heaven, right? Out of the waters, which is the heavens, Shemaims out of heaven, right? What they call UFOs or UAPs. That's what the Lord is going to be. Oh, well, right here, tells you right here. It says, but I beheld, which means to look, and I lo, which means to look. He driven himself a great mountain. Right, it's huge. Like when you see that Independence Day, the first one. I know some people talk about the second one, but the first one, it really shows you like when that chariot and then it hovers over and it casts a freaking whole shadow of the chariot, or what they call UFO, over the whole city of New York. That you're talking something big like that, like a flying mountain. It's a flying, but mountains don't fly. So what is it? It's talking about a chariot or UFO, and flew upon it, right? And it says, but I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was driven and could not. And after this I beheld. Oh, after this I beheld. Yes, like it. And lo, which means to look, they that were gathered together to subdue him were what? Were sore afraid, right? Because when you hear the fall of America, when them nukes get shot off, and you hear the cry from America, and you can hear it all the way into the Red Sea, and that's where you're at. You're just past the Levant, and you're in that thing marching towards Iran, and you hear the fall of America. Hey, you're gonna be sore afraid, and then you're looking at the Lord. You're like, oh, hey, you're gonna be totally afraid, right? It should be, yeah. To subdue him, were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. Hey, because you don't have a choice. The Lord's going to put it in you to go ahead and fight anyway. You don't have a choice. Plus, you're soldiers. You don't have a brain of your own. That's why they call you dumb jarheads. The people who rule over you. Your rich masters who don't give a damn about you. It says, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up hand, neither held sword, neither instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, which is out of the chariot, which you call UFO, which they showed that in the that Independence Day, where the chariot opened up over that big tall building and over the White House and shot down that thing. That's the mouth of the chariot, as it were a blast of fire. See, showing you that concentrated nuclear, that concentrated laser fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, right? So that's concentrated laser beam, right? And out of his tongue, he cast out sparks and tempests, right? And here we go, just the point right here. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden, see, you try to come against the Lord, and hey, all of a sudden, so upon of a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, right? And that's all the armies: North Korea, China, Russia, America. I don't know if they're going to bring anybody from Brazil, but India and America and Great Britain and France and wherever else you're from, wherever the great military powers, North Korea, South Korea, all your militaries are going to be there, and the Lord's going to, hey, he's going to what? And the innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Amen. And so the Lord's going to be a great judgment. And hey, there is no peace for the wicked. So with all that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachaha Kwadash. Hey, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom. To your sisters, Shwatim, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and above all, Akwam Yasharallah.